Hello, good morning students. In the previous video, we already discussed about what is ionization energy and how this ionization energy is variable in presence of periodic table, and also discussed some factors which affects the ionization energy. Students, in this video, I am going to explain another one concept or another one trend, that is electron affinity. Electron affinity, or also called as electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy. Remember students, enthalpy is nothing but energy. Enthalpy means energy. Now, first point, very important, that is definition of electron affinity. So, come to the point of definition. Please remember this definition. Is this as electron affinity? It is the amount of energy. It is the amount of energy released. Is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to the outermost cell of an isolated gaseous atom. Isolated gaseous atom. Students, please remember this point. Electron affinity is the amount of energy released. Release ಆಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ energy ಇದೊಂದು. ಯಾವಾಗ when an electron is added to the outermost cell of an isolated gaseous atom. Okay, you know isolated means single, which does not bind with others. It isolated and single ತನ್ನಷ್ಟು ತಾನು ಒಂದೇ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. In gaseous medium ದಾಗ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಆ gaseous medium ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. Guys, please remember this. It is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to the outermost cell of an isolated gaseous atom. Students, consider this one. We know in presence of atom, nucleus is present with number of electrons. In the first cell, there are 2 electrons. In the second cell, there are 8 electrons. If I take one example which contains 7 valence electrons in the outermost cell. Yes, if it contains 7 valence electrons, if it contains 7 valence electron, then if you add one extra electron to that outermost cell, at that time it releases some energy. That energy is called electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy. Yes, students, if you take an example here, Cl, chlorine, when it accepts one electron, plus electron means add one electron, then it becomes Cl plus. Theoretically, we know the value of this is 348.5 kilojoule per mole. S. Students, remember what is electron affinity? It is the amount of energy released when an extra electron has added to the outermost cell of an isolated gaseous atom. Remember students, here it is in gaseous form. Okay, ಏನಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ 7 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದೊಳಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಆಡ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಸಮ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಆ ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Okay students, now some more points related to this electron affinity. See carefully. In that first one, electron affinity of noble gas. Electron affinity of noble gas is 0. Why? Think yourself, electron affinity of noble gas is 0. Why? Students, we know noble gas means the valence electron, there is a 8 electrons. If you take an example, neon, its atomic number is 10. Is it right? Yes, its electron configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Is it right? In the valence cell, there are 8 electrons. In the valence cell, there are 8 electrons. Andre, ಇದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದನೇ ತೋರಿಸಿದಾಗ 2 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್, ಎರಡನೇ ತೋರಿಸಿದಾಗ 8 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್. ಹೌದಾ? Yes. In the valence cell, if it contains 8 electrons, means it follows octet rule. Because of this point, the electron affinity of noble gases or rare gas or group 18th elements is 0. ಯಾಕೆ 0 ಆಗ್ತದೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟೇಟ್ ರೂಲ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದೇನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ. ನೀವೇನೋ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತೀರ ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅಫಿನಿಟಿ 0 ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, electron affinity of 17th group elements. 17th group elements is more. Why? Because to get the octet configuration, it requires only one electron. 17ನೇ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅಫಿನಿಟಿ ಹೈ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 17ನೇ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ 7 ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾವ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನೋ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ Cl. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ರೈಟ್? Cl ಅದರ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 17 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. and its electron configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Is it right? Yes. In the valence cell, there are 7 electrons. Therefore, to get a nearer octet configuration or noble gas configuration, it requires only 1 electron. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಅಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದೊಳಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ಮೋರ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಮೋರ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ electron affinity high ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. 17 group elements have high electron affinity. Next, third point, electron affinity of group 2 elements. Group 2 elements is also 0. Why? Group 2 elements means alkaline earth metals. Is it right? If you take an example, magnesium, its atomic number is 12. Therefore, its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. Is it right? 12 electrons. And electron 2, 2, 4, 4, 2, yes, in the valence cell there are 2 electrons. Observe carefully, here the s orbital is completely filled. Even s orbital, s ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಚೌಕಟ್ಟು ಹೋದ orbital ಅದರೊಳಗೆ 2 electrons. ಒಂದು orbital ಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? maximum electrons 2. Okay, already here fill up ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ if you add electron, then where it goes? These group also don't accept the electrons easily. Yes, because of completely filled s orbital, its electron affinity is 0. Okay, students, now very important 3 marks question on this concept, that is variation of electron affinity in periodic table. Variation of electron affinity in periodic table. Okay, students, in that first point, down the group. What happens to the electron affinity and if you move down the group in presence of periodic table? So generally I take old concept, that is elements in the periodic table. Here lithium, sodium, etc., and here beryllium as well as boron. Beryllium and boron. As you know, lithium atomic number is 3 and sodium atomic number is 11, and beryllium its atomic number is 4 and its atomic number boron is 5. Okay, students, in the lithium nucleus with positive charge, in the first cell there are 2 electrons and in the outermost cell only 1 electron. And in presence of sodium nucleus, in the first cell 2 electrons, here 8 electrons, and here another one atom. Next, here same cell, here also 2 electrons, here also 2 electrons. Okay, students, what happens to the electron affinity when we move down the group? Is it right? Yes. First I write one point. We already know. If we move down the group, what about atomic size? Atomic size increases. We know, if we move down the group, the presence of a particular group of elements, then atomic size increases. Next, the atomic size increases number of cells adakagi atomic size increases. About effective nuclear charge. Yes, students, remember, if we move down the group, effective nuclear charge means force of attraction between the nucleus and the outermost electron decreases. Similar points which are discussed in earlier videos. As in the distance, size in distance nucleus and the electrons force of attraction as therefore directly I write same point, electron affinity, therefore electron affinity decreases. Yes, this is a very important point. If we move down the group, electron affinity is also decreases. Why? Because attraction of the incoming electron decreases here. As ignore it. If you take example 17th group elements, here fluorine, bromine, iodine, aspartame, these are the elements present in 17th group elements. Yes, if fluorine is the size given, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬ್ರೋಮಿನ್ ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ, ಅಯೋಡಿನ್ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ, ಹೌದಾ? ಈಗ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಅದ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಅದ. ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಸೈಜ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕತ್ತೀರಿ. ಇಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇನ್ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್, ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅವ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇನ್ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಇಂಥ ಟೈಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಏನು ಈಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಏನು ಬೆಳಗಾಗ್ತದೆ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಅದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. additional rule. Attraction of the incoming electron decreases. Yes, very important. And another point, along the period. Yes, students, we know atomic size when you move along the period, then atomic size increases because the extra electron enters into the same cell. At that time, effective nuclear charge, it increases. Effective nuclear charge and force of attraction ಈಗ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಅದಾವ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಬರಾಕತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ. ಎಸ್, at that time electron affinity also increases. Students, remember, if we move along the period, electron affinity increases. Electron affinity increases. Why? Attraction of the incoming electron here increases. Here is increases. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋದಂತೆ ಈಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತವ ಒಂದೇ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡುಬರ್ತಿರ್ತವೆ. At that time the force of attraction is high between the nucleus and the outermost electron. At that time if we add one electron here, then it produces a huge amount of energy. Yes, this energy is nothing but electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy. Students, remember, 3 marks question on electron affinity concept is what is electron affinity or what is electron gain enthalpy and how it varies down the group and how it is varies along the way. Your answer is definition point. It is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to the outermost shell of an isolated gaseous atom. Next, along the period and down the group. What happens to down the group? Down the group, electron affinity decreases. Along the period, electron affinity increases. Yes, it's the same. Okay? Yes. Students, one more important concept. It may help to your CET, NEET as well as JEE examination. Is that when you observe the electron affinity of 17 group elements, that is one exceptional case. What is that? See this question. Electron affinity of fluorine is less than. See question carefully. Electron affinity of fluorine is less than fluorine. Give reason. Students, even though if we move down the group, the electron affinity decreases. We know this concept, but it is exceptional to fluorine and fluorine. See question carefully. Electron affinity of fluorine is less than fluorine. Why? Or fluorine has less of electron affinity than fluorine. Give reason. Students, remember, we know fluorine atomic number is 9 and its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 5. Is it right? Yes. Next, fluorine base atomic number is 17 and its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 6, 3s2, 3p, 5. 2 plus 2, 4, 10, 12, 7. Yes. Students, remember, because of small size of fluorine atom, it contains in the 2p orbitals, there are 5 electrons. Is it right? Yes. There are number due to the small size of fluorine atom. There is a more inter-electronic repulsion observed between the new incoming electron and these electrons. Yes, remember this point. Inter-electronic repulsion is more here, where in presence of fluorine the inter-electronic repulsion is more. Means, students, if you add an extra electron to this 2p orbital, at that time there is a more inter-electronic repulsion is observed. Why? Because in a fluorine atom, is it right? Yes, you know, here nucleus and here 2 electrons and here 7 electrons. Is it right? Yes, these 7 electrons. If you add one more electron to this, there is a repulsion is observed. More repulsion between the electrons is observed. Why this happens? See here. Because of the small size, the electrons present or the electron density here is more. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಐಟಮ್ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸೈಜ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದು ಸುತ್ತ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಹೈ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಾಗ ನೀವು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತದ? ಮೋರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ರಿಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೋರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ರಿಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತದೆ, ರಿಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತದೆ. Therefore, its electron affinity is less. And if you take a chlorine, here you know the nucleus and here 2 electrons in the first cell and 8 electrons in the second cell, and in the third cell there are 7 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In this time, if you add an extra electron due to the large size of an fluorine atom, yes, due to the large size of an atom, here inter-electronic repulsion is not observed. Here, no inter-electronic, no, here no inter-electronic repulsion is observed. Okay, students, this is very important. Fluorine has electron affinity less than chlorine because due to the small size of fluorine atom, the inter-electronic repulsion is observed. But in presence of chlorine, this type of repulsion is not observed. Because of that point, fluorine has less electron affinity than chlorine. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಾದವು ಮದವರಾದ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೈಜ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ರಿಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ಸೈಜ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Okay students, next another concept very important, electronegativity. Electronegativity. Yes, come to the definition point. That is also very important for one more question. What is electronegativity? At the time you write answer. It is the ability of an atom. It is the ability of an atom to attract the shared pair of electrons. It is ability of an atom to attract the shared pair of electrons. Yes, remember this definition. What is electronegativity? Students, this word I used several times in presence of halogens. Is it right? Halogens and fluorine. Another example fluorine, it is one of the more electronegative atom in the periodic table. Electronegativity or more electronegative atom fluorine. Yes, what is electronegativity? It is the ability of an atom. It is the ability of an atom to attract the shared pair of electrons. One element ಅಥವಾ atom ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸೆಳೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ಐತಿ ಅದು ಏನು ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗಟಿವಿಟಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತದ. It is the ability or capacity of an atom to attract the shared pair of electrons. Remember students, usually halogens are more electronegative elements. In that, fluorine is one of the most electronegative element. And fourth point related to this electronegativity concept, or this is also referred as the factors which affects the electronegativity. What is that? See, first point, atomic size. Atomic size is inversely proportional to electronegativity. Atomic size is inversely proportional to the electronegativity. Electronegativity is the ability of an atom to attract the shared pair of electrons ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಸೈಜ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗಟಿವಿಟಿಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಅದ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗಟಿವಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದು ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತದ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಿರ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ, ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಇದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Yes, we know in presence of halogens means 17th group elements, if we move down the group, what happens? Atomic size increases. Is it right? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಮೊದಲು ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಫ್ಲೋರಿನ್, ಅದರ ಸೈಜ್ ಏನದ ಚಿಕ್ಕದ. ಸೈಜ್ ಚಿಕ್ಕದ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗಟಿವಿಟಿ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದ. Yes, next point. ENC is effective nuclear charge is directly proportional to electronegativity. Yes, please remember, effective nuclear charge is directly proportional to the electronegativity. Inversely proportional ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಇದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅದು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. But here effective nuclear charge is directly proportional to electronegativity. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ effective nuclear charge ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋನೆಗಟಿವಿಟಿ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತದಂತ. ಹೇಗೆ? Yes, due to the small size of fluorine, force of attraction means effective nuclear charge is more. Is it right? Therefore, its electronegativity is also, remember students, this is also very important. Okay students, in this video we only discussed about electron affinity and how it varies in presence of periodic table and the definition of electronegativity. In the next video we will discuss how this electronegativity varies in periodic table. Thank you.